Hey everyone, I'm Shah. In this video, I'll discuss 5 tips for writing good AI prompts. While it doesn't take much to make ChatGPT helpful for everyday tasks, getting LLMs to do complicated things accurately and reliably is a different story. And that's exactly what we're going to cover here. The 5 tips I'm going to review are as follows. 1. Provide clear instructions. 2. Use structured text. 3. Give examples. 4. Give context. And 5. Use an LLM. So I'm going to go through each of these one at a time and give explicit examples for each. So the first tip, provide clear instructions. This is just telling a model what to do and how to do it. And a helpful way of thinking about this is imagining the following situation. Say you work at an established business or company and you've just brought on a new hire. The new hire is competent, they understand things about the world, they possess skills, and suppose your job is to give this new hire clear instructions about doing specific tasks within the context of your specific company. This might require you to give some background knowledge about your company, give clear step-by-step instructions for doing a specific task, giving them access to specific resources, and so on and so forth. Exactly how you would describe this task to a new hire is a good way to think about how you should describe this task to an LLM. LLMs know a lot about the world and know how to do countless text-based tasks. However, what they don't know is the context of your specific organization and specifically how you like things to get done. Some things you might want to include in your instructions are things like the role that the model is acting as, the model's objective, what are they supposed to do, the audience that the model is talking to, the bigger picture, in other words, the larger context in which the model is operating, the steps to follow for particular tasks, any sort of rules or policies that the model should follow, basically things it should do and things it should not do. Also, this idea of chain of thought. So basically instructing the model to think step by step or to think out loud. Some examples of this are, let's say I wanted to get an LLM to write some copy for me. Going down this list, we might have something like, you are a senior copywriter at a boutique AI consulting firm. Review and suggest improvements to marketing copy provided by the user. The user is Shah, an AI educator and entrepreneur. Your responses will be used in promotional content on the company website and LinkedIn to increase course enrollment. When responding to a request, identify the core message. 2. Suggest 1 to 2 rewrites. 3. Explain your rationale briefly. Then some rules to follow. Keep the tone professional and concise. Avoid jargon, filler words, and emojis. Finally, telling the model to think step by step to ensure your suggestions improve clarity and alignment with the target audience. Obviously, these are just short snippets, and a larger prompt would be more involved, as we'll start to see in the following slides. The next tip is to use structured text. In other words, to format your prompts using things like Markdown and XML. Markdown is just a markup language that allows you to format headers, have unordered list items, have ordered list items, and also have special text blocks, which is often used to delimit code. This is helpful because it allows you to split your prompt into clear sections, which makes it easier for the model to understand. The second type of structured text that's often used with large language models is XML. This is basically the idea of adding these tags to your prompt to delimit task examples or even source documents. So we'll see some examples in the upcoming slides of this. So where Markdown is very helpful is that not only does it allow you to break your prompt into clear sections, but it also helps you break down complex instructions into step-by-step lists or into a hierarchical set of instructions. XML tends to be the most helpful when you're trying to delimit task examples and source documents. So just to see some concrete examples of this, returning to that copywriting use case, case, the way we could use Markdown is by having these clear sections for the role and objective, the instructions, and then having a subsection under the instructions with the various guidelines. For these instructions, we have a numbered list because these things need to happen in order, while for the guidelines, these don't need to happen in any particular order, so we can just use a bulleted list. On the other hand, we can use XML to format examples, so we can have another header called examples, and then we can have a input-output pair that the model can use to guide its responses. So in this case, we're giving an example of the user typing in some first draft of website copy, and then here we have an example of a desirable response from the assistant. We want the assistant to give two options and to give a rationale for these options. The nice thing about XML is that there's a clear start and a clear end, so you can go crazy within the boundaries of these tags. For example, let's say you want the model to output Markdown and you don't want it to get confused with the Markdown that you're already using in the prompt. If you put in the XML tags, then there will be a clear delineation between these two things. The other great thing about XML is that you can have metadata associated with each of these items. Here we simply have an ID just so that the model knows that this is the user input for example 1 and this is a corresponding assistant response for example 1. But we can have all sorts of metadata here, as we'll see in upcoming examples. The next tip is to give the model examples. In other words, instead of telling it what to do, showing the LLM what to do. So we just saw this on the previous slide, but just to look at another example, let's say we wanted the model to write a LinkedIn post. One of the challenges with this use case specifically is that even though LLMs can write a LinkedIn post just fine, getting them to write a LinkedIn post in my unique voice and style is a hard thing to convey through instructions alone. So in cases like this, it's easier to just show the model examples of my writing so it can figure out how to mimic that style on its own. We have, again, a user input and a assistant response, and we have an ID which connects these two together. But I also added this other piece of metadata called platform. And so this could be helpful if we don't just want the LLM to write LinkedIn posts, we also want it to write X posts or YouTube community posts. Since each of these platforms has slightly different formats, it's helpful that the model has that context when generating its response. Here I wrote, write me a post about 5 prompt engineering tips. So this is something I would write to the model. And then this is a desirable response. 90% of LLM use cases don't require fine-tuning or agentic AI. They require you to write better prompts. Here are 5 best practices for getting LLMs to do what you want via prompting, listing the 5 tips we're talking about here, and then having this question at the end. What are some other prompting tips you found helpful? This is very much my style when it comes to LinkedIn posts, but I promise you if you were to paste this into ChatGPT, you wouldn't get a response like this one here. Another powerful tip is to give the LLM context. This can be things like giving it specific background about you or your company. It could be information about events that occurred after the model's training cutoff, or it could be domain-specific information that's just not widely known or available. Continuing on this copywriting example, a large language model is going to know nothing about my AI course. It's going to know nothing about me specifically in my background, and it's not going to know anything about my specific marketing goals with this copywriting task. So these are all things we can feed to the model as context. Here we have course profile. So this is just background about the course that's being promoted. This is background about me. And then this is guidance on where the content is going to be posted and who it is meant for. Not only does giving the model context allow it to ground its responses in reality and the things you care about, but this also helps reduce the occurrences of hallucinations. So a hallucination is just when a model makes something up. In this case, if we don't give the model the background information, there's a very high likelihood it's just going to start making things up. Giving context is a very powerful technique. However, sometimes the best context for a prompt is going to change based on the input provided by the user. And so this is where retrieval augmented generation is helpful, or RAG for short. And basically all this is where context is automatically added to the prompt based on the user's request. And so I talked all about RAG in a previous video, so I'll link that here for those who are interested. And then the final tip is to use an LLM. In other words, writing and refining your prompt with an LLM. This is also called meta prompting, in case you come across that term. While there are countless ways we can do this, here I want to talk about two specific flavors. The first is getting the LLM to make your prompt more clear. Basically taking the current version of your prompt and giving it to the LLM that you want to use and asking it, is there anything unclear about these instructions? And then just passing it to the LLM. The power here is that you can get the LLM to rewrite the prompt in its own words. Sometimes instructions that might seem clear to us may not be as clear to an LLM. So getting it to rewrite it in its own words is a powerful approach. Another flavor of this is getting the LLM to make corrections. In this case, not only do you give the LLM the prompt, but also you provided a bad response which was generated from this prompt. And then you can ask it something like, why did you get this wrong? What about the prompt can be improved so that this doesn't happen again? And then you just pass all of this to the LLM. This is actually very similar to getting the LLM to clarify the instructions, but now instead of just generally trying to make instructions clear, it's targeted and more specific around making the instructions more clear to help avoid a specific type of mistake. And a quick note here, there might be a tendency that we can just offload all of the prompt writing to an LLM, but often this is not the case. And that's simply because only you know what you want the LLM to do and what makes a response good. Only you can explain and convey this information to the model. So using an LLM is a powerful aid, but it's not a complete replacement for writing good prompts. A key point here is that prompt engineering is an iterative process. In other words, it's not so important how good your initial prompt is, but rather how effectively you can iterate and improve upon your prompt based on model responses. Typically, what this looks like is you'll write an initial prompt, you'll pass it to an LLM, you'll get a response from that LLM, and then you'll evaluate that response. Was it good? Was it bad? And then you'll use this evaluation to refine your prompt. If the response was good, maybe you'll try a different input. If the response was bad, then you'll try to identify what about the prompt was not clear. Do I have conflicting instructions in here? Am I missing context that will help the model answer this accurately? And then you go through this whole loop again. Depending on the project you're working on, you might go through this loop dozens or even hundreds of times. Going through this loop and improving your prompts in a systematic way is going to be a topic of a future video. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for your time and thanks for watching.